Let's move on to add finishes activities. For finishes, we have added 3 WBase. We have added ground floor, which will consist of all finishes activity for ground floor, at the roof, all the finish active for roof, and external, all the finishes activities for external will come over here. Right now we have ground floor, roof and external. Let's add an extra WBase and move this ground floor and roof and under that 1 WBase, and we will name it as internal finishes. Let's go to WBase, finishes. Let's add the WBase. Let's rename this internal finishes. Let's move this ground floor under that. Let's move this roof also under the internal finishes. Let's rearrange them properly. Let's come to activity window and refresh this to see the modifications. Now we can see internal finishes now under ground floor and roof. We have separate WBase for external finishes and ground floor. Let's start by adding finish activities. Let's add first activity, as we all know it is block work construction. If you remember, in a previous video, activity ID will auto renumber itself. That will be based on the last activity that we have added. The last activity was 11060. After that, it will automatically take the next activity ID and also the default original duration from the admin settings. Let's add next activity. Plastering works. Let's keep on adding the remaining activity for ground floor. These are the activities that will come on the ground floor. They have been added based on the sequence of execution. If you remember, in a previous video we have shown that if you have added the activity based on the sequence, and if you sort it as per that, let's link those activities easily. So okay, before linking them, let's give them some duration. Plastering 10 days, fall sealing 8, and these are all assumed duration for all those activities. Now we have added this duration. Now let's link them. Select the first activity, select the last activity, and click on link activities. You can see in the Gantt chart, you can see the arrows over here, the linking arrows. That means all activities have been linked. After scheduling, this is the result. What I want here is that instead of doing paint first code and then doing door and window installation, what we need to do is we have to do door and window installation first and then do the painting first code. That is because we need to have the whole closure for the whole apartment, because when we start with the painting, we do not want any dust or dirt to enter into the home. That is why we will do the door and window installation, and then after that we will have a paint activity. Let's rename this activity and make it as 1. Delete this window installation activity and keep duration as 3 days, because door and window installation tail will be different and they will be working separately, but at the same time. So let's have and keep them in one line activity. Let's remove its predecessor. What we're trying to say is that after door and window installation, we'll proceed with the painting works because we will have the closure for the apartment. At the same time, door and window cannot start before completion of its frame. There is a we need to link the frame installation. Let's schedule this, and this is sorted as per the activity ID. Now let's sort it as per the finish date. You can see this is the sequence of the work that we are going to follow on the site. If you want, we can make more changes. Instead of having door and window frame separately, we can have them finished simultaneously. Door and window frame are getting finished at the same time. You can see over here, because we gave them finish to finish relationship. After that, we have door and window shutter installation, painting first coat. After painting first coat, instead of having this staircase handrail, let's just sort this as well as per the finish date. Also add electric light fitting as a successor of painting works. And let's make some more modifications. Let's schedule this. Now we can see that staircase handrail and electrical light fitting will be done simultaneously, but after the completion of painting works. So the total duration required to complete the ground floor finishes activity takes 50 days. This is considering that there is no bathroom, toilets or any other work which is the wet area. If there was, that would lead to increase in duration. So based on the assumption that it is whole dry area, and we have assumed some productivity and we have assumed the activities also. This ends ground floor finishes activity.